Welcome to Make a Path Presents. Let's talk Fear the Walking Dead Season 2. This is going to be the very first predictions video about Fear the Walking Dead's second season. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly explain where I believe the story's going to go so far that we know, and then we're going to go to the images quick. And each image we're just going to talk about them briefly and try to connect the dots along the way. Now my overall opinion or prediction of this season is I think something's going to happen at Strand's house. They're going to flee to the yacht. Maybe they have to flee early and leave some supplies. It does look like Strand's house might be burning down. We'll have to go to the images in a moment and look and see. But they flee to the yacht, and then from there they go on the water and possibly stopping at certain places to get supplies, maybe to see if it's habitable, maybe if it's a good place to go. We don't know if Strand has a certain destination either. We don't know if any of them comes up with a destination they want to reach. So that's also in the air. Another thing we have to think about is, will they want to keep them moving as opposed to The Walking Dead where they're at Alexandria and they're most likely going to stay there for a few seasons. Now, if Fear the Walking Dead stopped at a place and then something bad happened and then 2 seasons later they went to another place, it would be a little too similar to the formula on The Walking Dead. So that leads me to believe that we might actually see them mobile for quite some time. Anyway, leave your thoughts and opinions below. Let's look at a bunch of images from the trailer now. I'll put them up on the screen. And we're just going to pick out a couple things on the images, not necessarily in order, but in order as they show them in the trailer. And hopefully by the end of it, we can piece some things together. Alright, first up is a very awesome promo image. I just put this in here because it is freaking awesome. Let's move right on to Strand and Nick. I believe this is from Season 1. The important thing to remember is look at that background, look at the beach, look at the glass railing, look at the environment, the brick walls. Just get a feel for this because we might need it later on to try to tell where we're at and piece the images together. Look at that ocean though. You got some cliffs and everything. There's the beach down there, so we got some good visuals to keep in mind here. Moving on, we got the ocean. Walkers are coming out of the ocean. That is important for later on. I know I seen something in the image. Remember, walkers are on the beach. Here's images of them on the beach. Here's images of Danny shooting them, or shooting one, or some. So keep that in mind too. Walkers on the beach. Here they're on the yacht, it looks like, because of that railing. They're looking at the sunset. So we will be getting, images of them as they're floating along, going to their next destination. Here's an interesting image. I guess this is not Flight 462 because it looks like a boat. See the left side of the screen? It looks like a motor there. And there's a guy bobbing. See between the person on the right and the boat on the left? You in the middle there's that guy bobbing. Now look at, he looks like he went under the water a little. So maybe that guy's trying to swim from that boat. Oh wow, that's a clearer image too. Look at the engine all the way to the left. So this is definitely people on a boat surviving. What the hell are they doing out there? They must have had to flee from something, because why would you go on such a small little boat like that? So they're going to need help, and they're most likely going to want to go to the yacht, and that could cause a problem too. Anyway, we got a walker here at nighttime. This is an important image to keep in mind because we see this again later on. More walkers on the beach, so something on the beach during the daytime happens. Here's at nighttime, and this is an image we'll see again. Something similar. The walkers attacking Travis, I believe, is under there. But look at the orange glow to the left. Something's on fire, and this just might be Strand's house. They might have to leave at nighttime. Alright, back to on the water, we have Travis and his son, and it looks like they're on like a little raft, or a little, I don't know, lifeboat, let's say, that's off the yacht. And there's another body in the water. He looks like he's flailing around. It could be a zombie. He could be a human being. But look at his son. His son does look wet. So maybe he uses the raft to get his son, because in the next images we see Travis hitting somebody with an oar, and he's hitting the person wearing the life vest while his son climbs up into the boat. And we do see Chris go into the water later on, so keep this image in mind. Them two are solo on some kind of raft or lifeboat, and Chris is in the water. Keep that in mind because we're going to get to that later too. That might even be a walker, not a human survivor too. If he's just bobbing up and down, that would be pretty cool. So I'm going to say that's a walker attacking him, not a man. Because if it was a guy, Travis most likely would have just pushed him off or something. Now, this is what gives me the idea that they stop at different places along the way to get supplies. Now, this is nighttime. We have to keep in mind all the nighttime images might be happening around the same time. So the fire could be from this building also. Now let's see what else we got. Keep an eye on the clothing too. Nick is wearing his usual. You have the daughter here wearing looks like black jeans. You have the plaid button down and the white shirt under that, and then you have Madison wearing that little Marty McFly little vest we got going on. And this is at nighttime. They're looking around at a different area. Here is Chris. It's Chris, right? Giving his mother a kiss goodbye, and this confirms that we're picking up right where we left off with season 1. So that's awesome. Again, here's a nighttime image of walkers on the rocks. So we're going to have a lot more walkers this season, which is epic. Here we go. Is this Strand's house? I did not go back and look and compare, but this might be either Strand's house or a house that they visit at nighttime to get supplies. Now, we do see the smoke. Maybe that's a new fire. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of walkers, so they do chase our survivors out. Here's a guy on the yacht with a rifle, so somebody gets on the yacht. Now, we do know he gets on the yacht, aims it at Madison, and later on we'll see that Danny's there hiding behind a door. Here's Strand. I believe this is on the yacht. They're looking at something. Here's the daughter. She's noticing something pointing. It could be the survivors too, and that's why they go on the little raft. So now here's Danny. Madison goes running past him. They're like, oh shit, we got Chris in the background. Again, this is on the yacht. Now we're back at the beach. Now this is important because there's a fence here, and he's hitting the walker. Now it makes it in the trailer look like Travis is doing it. Now this might be Strand's house. This might be after his mom died. He's taking his anger out on the walkers because later we'll see an image. We'll see an image where there's bodies all along the fence there. So that's where they're keeping out those walkers that are trying to come up, I believe, at Strand's house. It looks like Nick falls in the water and one of the walkers tries to get him. I'm not sure what this image is, but somebody gets injured there. You see blood on her finger, and she moves around like she has turned recently. And I can't place the clothes just yet. So we'll have to come back to this image. See, now here's the glow, the fire in the background. Madison looks like she's running, again, at nighttime with the other walkers, running from something. Here she's got luggage, a cooler and a duffel bag. She looks like she's running out towards the water from the waves there. At first, when I first seen this, I thought possibly she's running, out of the water and up to a house or something. But now that I'm looking at the image, it looks like, yeah, she's running into the water, so they might actually be gathering supplies. Now, this could be them fleeing Strand's house because look at the jacket. She has a jacket on, not her Marty McFly vest. She had the vest on at the other nighttime house where they were scoping out for supplies, looking for supplies. Now, here's Travis. It looks like he's laying out another walker. Yep, he's definitely laying out another walker, using a log, apparently. So they make some kind of getaway at nighttime, and they put in work. Yeah, look at Travis is crushing somebody's head in. And then we have another promo here. Now, this is on the yacht. We have the daughter here in her plaid shirt, looking up like, what the hell is going on? Here's Madison. Now she has the vest on, which leads me to believe that possibly during the escape she has her jacket. Now on the yacht she has this little vest here. And I know it's not the Marty McFly vest. I just don't know why, but I called it that. And I stuck with it, so leave me alone. Anyway, this railing here, this is on the yacht. They're keeping an eye out. And this is probably where they see that other boat. A lot of images of them looking off. See, and this is all on the yacht. So far we have yacht images and beach images. So, and that's all we're seeing. Look, here's another one on the yacht. Oh, we see something. Here's Danny with his pistol out. What's that black behind him? That might be on the yacht still too. Yeah, that's on the yacht still too, I believe. They could be getting boarded. Again, a lot on the yacht and on the beaches at nighttime and during the daytime. And we got Danny here, either has the rifle or he's still holding the pistol. We got people waving. Before we seen it from the image of a girl. And it doesn't look like anyone's in the water just yet. So maybe this is when they first see them. Hey, what's going on, guys? Whoop de whoop. And somebody jumps off the boat and then into the water and then comes up to the yacht. And maybe that starts a scuffle. Now here's a guy in the water, a zombie that's in the water, a walker, sorry. And Nick was under there just staring at him. So Nick is going through some shit. Here's more walkers coming up on the beach during the daytime, and this is what I'm talking about. You have Travis here walking along, and you have all these bodies up against this fence. Now, if this is Strand's house, then this is where we pick up at. Now, if we pick up where the son is pissed because his mom is dead, he's taking his anger out on these walkers on the fence, and they're all preparing to leave on the yacht, but they're not quite prepared yet because they're dealing with the death of his mother. That would explain why it's a mad dash later on. I'm talking possibly. Now here's an important image. This looks like it's on the back of the yacht where Danny was standing before with the pistol. Now this is weird because he doesn't just jump into the water. If you watch on the video, it looks like he's just chilling, about to walk as if he's all normal, but he just plops down into the water. Even looking at these images, look at, he's just like, hey guys, I'm putting my hands in my pockets. Oh shit, it's water. What happened? Where am I at? I don't get this scene at all, but we do know that later on he's in that little raft with his dad, so if he's on the yacht right now, and for whatever reason he's like, you know what, screw this, there's people out there, I gotta go help them. If he jumps off the yacht, swims over to help him, it's actually a walker and not a person. His dad jumps on the little boat to go out and help him, and then the walker's trying to get him, his dad helps him, his dad has to beat the walker off, and he's like, damn it, Chris, what are you doing, da 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 da. I can see that happening. That might even get Nick in the water. He could jump out to help, and that's why we see him here with this walker too. Not really sure on that one. Again, here's nighttime images. Now look at that. That is definitely the same image of the other building that was burning too. So this is all happening at the same night. Somewhere it's burning and they are at a mad dash to get out of there. Now the son is walking down here and he looks like he punches a wall. I think he's just pissed that his mom died and he's freaking out and he's punching a wall. This most likely will be in the season 2 premiere where he's pissed off and everything. So he's just punching a wall. Now here's the guy with the rifle. He comes in and he doesn't look wet, so he had to have boarded using a boat maybe, unless they're docked somewhere. But he comes in like, hey, what the hell are you guys doing? Danny puts a gun to his head. So I guess Madison lures him in there. Danny's hiding, puts a gun to his head, and that's the only image we got of any true conflict. Everything else that I've seen is, well, we looked at it. It's the beach and the yacht. It's the beach during the day, the beach at night, and then the yacht. If I was thinking, how would this story go realistically with their kind of writing style, it would have to be dealing with the mother dying, obviously, picking up right where they left off, making plans to go, but being like, listen, we need to just recoup our thoughts for a couple nights, hang out here. Something happens where possibly they get rushed out of there, there's a fire, they have to leave at nighttime. That's pretty scary. That would be pretty cool. Imagine going out into the open ocean or even getting on a yacht out in the water at nighttime where you can watch your house burning down. It's symbolizing the world that's burning down and the vast black dark ocean of nothingness, and it's the unknown, and that's where you're headed to. The symbolism there is too epic to pass up. I love it. So from this point they would just journey on, and unless somebody in the group has somewhere they want to go, they're just going to bounce around until they find somewhere that's safe, some other people, you know, to survive safe with. They need supplies, they need to scavenge, so there's shit going on. We've seen the one guy that they have an issue with, and all we saw was him boarding with the rifle going through the doorway. For all we know, he could be a good dude, and he could be like, hey, who are these people, da da da, they look like trouble, and then, you know, boom boom boom. It looks like we're not going to get a big bad anytime soon. Maybe by the end of season 2, but more like season 3. We could see the development of one. It would be an interesting choice for them to do, but they have enough survival material right now to hold off on getting to a big bad, because obviously we need time for the big bads to establish themselves. So yeah, this is kind of fun to try and predict this one, because there's no comic that comes before it, and they got to be careful not to copy anything from The Walking Dead, which is stopping at places and setting up a society to live at, or a community to live at. So this is pretty interesting. However, knowing The Walking Dead story, makes me even more curious to see what direction they're taking Fear the Walking Dead. So I'm very much looking forward to season 2. I do hope it does pick up, like I said. However, now it's your turn to tell me what you think about it. What are some pros and cons of season 1 that you want to see more of and want to see less of in season 2? Did I say that right? Season 1 and then season 2. And also, since this is a predictions video, let me know your predictions for Fear the Walking Dead season 2. Down in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.